Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. Season 3, Episode 5. The rest is still unwritten. You guys, I love the show. I'm really enjoying this. As you know, I've never seen any of the 90 Day Fiance anything. I had no idea what I was walking into. I Googled it. And they said this was the most entertaining of the series, and they said start with season 3. So that's what I did. That's how I'm here, and I'm loving it, and I can't wait to talk about it. Streaming on Hulu if you want to watch along with me. Hey guys, I just want to take a second and say if you're enjoying this show, please check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search Real Housewives Recaps, or check the comments below, and I'll put a link. And for $1 a week, you can support my show and get 4 bonus episodes per month. I'm covering Scary Island, like the greatest season of Real Housewives of New York. So check it out. Thanks so much. So we start out with Rebecca and Zied. Now you remember Rebecca's from Georgia. She's in her 40s. Zied is a lot younger. He's in Tunisia. She's only been there for 2 days. And they wanted to have a fun night out. Well, they end up getting into a huge blowout over what she's wearing, and she took her jacket off in this club that they were at, and this is a big deal. He's explaining you can't do this. People will look at you. Women in Tunisia do not have these tattoos. And she doesn't understand what the big deal is. Well, he almost comes to blows with this guy. This guy keeps looking at Rebecca because he's just not used to seeing things like this. And Rebecca is talking about she was married to this guy from Morocco that ended up being very controlling. So she divorced him, and now she's with Zied, and she's not liking this side of him that he seems to be controlling as well. I can't tell if he's controlling or if it's just he's trying to show her his culture and his customs. Maybe you just don't do that in Tunisia. But it's hard to say because she's worried when he gets to America he may still try to tell her what to wear. So then we go to Darcy and Tom, and I find her so cringeworthy, and yet still kind of funny, but mostly cringy. Every time they show her, she's primping. She likes to look at herself in the mirror, she likes to put on makeup, and she's just all about the way she looks. And it's a bit much, if you ask me, but always making faces like this. So he's waiting on her, and she's doing this. She's getting ready. So they're going to be spending 3 weeks together. Of course, she flew into London, and he rented this Airbnb. And yesterday, he revealed he only stopped seeing other women. They just totally are on separate pages. She thinks he's about to propose. He thinks it's the first date. It's just nothing lines up. Their personalities seem totally different. The only thing is he seems totally into himself, and she seems into herself, so maybe on that fact they have in common. But, so they're going to go play cricket, and it's just so many cringy things happening. So she's talking to him because he's planned this whole huge getaway for part of their stay. They were going to go spend some time in Canaria. It's these beautiful islands in Africa. So she brings up the idea to him. She's like, yeah, you're not going to like this, but my sister and her fiancé are nearby in Albania. So how about we go to Albania? It's not that far away, and we'll go visit sister and her fiancé Florian. He had planned this whole special getaway, so this really rubs him the wrong way. He says, I'm not open to changing plans last minute like that. He asks her what she knows about Albania. She basically knows nothing. He flew out to Gran Canaria and had organized all this stuff, planned a beautiful time, and he isn't happy at all. But he's like, okay, we'll do it. So you can just see things are just not going well. She can't see it, but he can. And I think he's trying to make her feel good, but I don't think he feels good about things. They go play cricket, and always a fashion show with her, always. So she wears this outfit to go play cricket in. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we see her posing up a storm and totally into herself, and he's just kind of dorky. I don't know. He's into himself, so I don't know. So he's showing her how he pitches, and she's acting excited. And so here's the other weird thing. She keeps talking about she makes jokes about marriage all the time. She won't stop. She said something like, it's like walking down the aisle together. Then he makes a joke about how she looks or something like that, like about how she dresses, and she's like, I want to get you out of those PJs. Brings up the cuddling and basically is trying to pressure him into having sex with her. It's just so uncomfortable. Like, she's not tactful at all. She's just like, yeah, why haven't we boned yet? And she says she's starting to feel insecure and she may pull back emotionally, to which I say, no, you won't. You're super into him and you have no playing it cool in you whatsoever. So then we're back to Ben and Akini. So they're in Kenya. So he's from Phoenix. He flew out there to meet her for the first time. So the big deal here is her family has to approve. And if he can get them to approve, he's going to try to propose to her by the end of the trip. If he proposes, he has to pay a bride price. It's a one-time payment of appreciation to her family. And she's saying there's something she hasn't told him yet. I don't think that he will like it. And, you guys, cringe. Okay, so he's just flown out there, right? And he has rented this Airbnb. And she's like, here's a surprise. You don't get to stay there. You have to go stay with my brother for a week. Or for however long he's there. He's completely shocked by the change of plans. And he's rented this apartment. But no, he's got to spend a week with the brother. The family's never met a white guy. And if brother Fidel doesn't approve, it won't work out. So he's super nervous. So then we're over at Omar and Avery. Now, she is from Ohio. He is from Syria. They met up in Lebanon because it's not safe in Syria. It's their second day in Lebanon. They're getting married tomorrow. They want to get married right away, so that way they can apply for the marriage visa. And she's really pissed because when she woke up that morning, she found out Omar has let her down. He promised, she came all this way and she's done all this stuff, but he was going to take care of the wedding arrangements. He's supposed to find the sheikh that can marry them, the Islamic priest. Found out this morning nothing's been done. He hasn't done it. He says he tried, but he can't find someone. So Avery is worried she has to go back to America. So nothing's been done. She's really upset. And it sounded serious in the moment, but she is so hell-bent on marrying this guy and making this work out that it's just like easily forgotten, like, oh, no big deal. So it's just the strangest thing. She's talked herself into it and she won't let herself back out. She keeps saying strange things like, I've come all this way. It can't fail now. It's just, it's very strange. So her plan is to marry him, go back to America, file the paperwork, to start the visa, and then come back and move to Syria with him. She's not telling her mom that second part about moving to Syria with him because she knows her mom will freak out. And she doesn't want to tell her until after the wedding because she doesn't want mom to stop the wedding. This is so crazy. So many things wrong with this. So she storms out. You think it's going to be over. No, she'll make it work. She goes back to the room she's staying with her mom. And her mom comes up. She says she still wants to marry him. So mom comes up with the idea to go find a mosque and let's get Omar and get you and find a place to get married. So she's really trying to help them. She says every time I push against Avery, she pushes back harder. She has to leave. The mom has to leave soon and she really wants to be part of the ceremony. So she's really trying to find a way to make this work. Of course, not knowing about the Syria plan. Then we go over to Angela. Angela is just not like anybody else on this show. I don't know what planet she lives on. She's from Georgia. She's packing to go see her Michael, her Nigerian fiance, for the second time ever. This is the most, every time she does something that out cringes like the previous episode. So this episode, that's her daughter. And she's packing in front of her daughter. And what's she packing? Things like handcuffs and body butter and sex stuff. It's so crazy. She's showing her daughter all these things she's packing and all the things she wants to do to Michael. So Skyla says, you're getting him all this stuff and you don't even know if you can trust him. So they're going to the airport here. The deal is that she thinks she can't trust him because he went out and celebrated his birthday and didn't tell her about it. And it's so weird because I haven't watched any other seasons or episodes or anything. So they refer to, I guess, last season they were on it. So it's really hard for me to say on this one. Everything I can tell, I think Angela is nuts. And I believe that's true regardless. She makes it seem like Michael is untrustworthy, but I don't know. So then we go over to Tim and Jennifer. So he is from Charlotte, North Carolina. She lives in Colombia. He's flown over to meet her finally after 8 months of talking online. So the first moments in person have been really rough. He mentioned his ex in the cab ride from the airport, and she is now super pissed at him. He can't talk about that. She says, I'm very angry with him because I don't understand the relationship. So he's trying. He says, it's okay, I won't call her if you don't want me to. She's just so mad. It's so awkward. And this is just the ride home from the airport to go to the place where he's rented. He's rented an apartment while he's there. She lives with her grandparents with her young daughter. And his plan is for her to come. So, like, she comes over to see him a lot at the apartment, basically. After this huge blowout fight, he brings her all these presents, which are like these wrapped up clothes that he's gotten her and her daughter. And all is right in the world again. She's very happy. And she's saying things like, he got me angry. Now he's paying off the damage. So he's trying to convince her he's the one and that she should spend her life with him. And then she says things to camera like, he's not my type physically, to be honest, but he is a family man, so that's important to me. She says he has to show her father that he is a strong man. So he shows off a manicure he got. She calls him the P word. That's what you want to hear from the girl you just met. She says, that would be a shame for my family. Who is him, a girl or what? And he says he doesn't know if the chemistry is right. Oh, God, it's just one awful moment after another. And I'm thinking, like, they probably need to run from each other. He says he's hoping she'll stay at the apartment tonight so he can get a first kiss with her. So then we go to Caesar. He's from Jacksonville, North Carolina. He is in Cancun because he's about to meet his Ukrainian girlfriend, Maria, after talking to her for 5 years. They've had all these plans to meet, and every time she backs out of something. He's obviously being some sort of catfished or just strung along for money. She won't even say his name in the video she's sending him. She calls him baby and stuff. So that way they're making it appear like she's going to milk money out of several guys. Don't know what the case is yet, but I'm assuming since they don't do a 24 hours with her that she probably doesn't exist. I just don't understand this guy. He seems like a genuinely nice guy, nicer than some of the other guys, but he's so blindly optimistic. P.S. He's unpacking these things, right, while he's talking to the camera about how much he loves this girl. But he seems like a nice guy. I've just never, ever seen somebody so blindly optimistic. At this point in the journey, she hasn't texted him for days. He has sent her $800 a month for years. He bought her an engagement ring, and he can't get any answer back from her. He doesn't even know. It was her idea to switch to Cancun. He sent her extra money for the plane tickets. She spent it on other things, so he went and bought her a plane ticket. It's just one crazy thing after another. He doesn't have the money to pay for any of this, so he borrowed some from his boss. He's been working 7 days a week. I mean, it's just one red flag after another, and he's just clueless about it. He's making videos like, I love you, baby. I can't wait for you to join me here. You know, and I switch back and forth. I feel sorry for him, but then I think, what are you doing? What are you thinking with all this stuff? It just makes none of it makes any sense at all. So we're back to Omar and Avery. They are going to a mosque to see if they can find someone to marry them. And Avery's explaining, Omar didn't do anything for the wedding. I came all this way to Lebanon. That was his job. Mom's convinced him to walk to this mosque and just see if somebody can marry them. So it's so crazy. Avery is second guessing everything, or at least she's saying she is, but she still very much wants to marry him. So in order to go in the mosque, they have to follow the rules. Mom has to cover her head. They have to, I guess her legs were showing, so they have to cover that up too. So it's interesting to see all that. They meet this nice guy who's agreed to help them. He can't marry them, but he knows the guy that can, so I guess that guy is traveling, so he's really trying to make it work. It all ends up working out. It's fine. They get it. They get it to where they can get married. It's just so much going wrong here. So then we're back to Angela. Angela has finally arrived in Nigeria. She says she got to make sure he's the right one. She says just all these crazy things. So I'm going to say, she just says things like, he better be worth it. We shall see. And she just, it's so weird. It's so weird to see her point of view because, you have it in your head. She keeps saying he's not worth the damn. He lies. I'm not sure what to do. And, again, I didn't see the previous season, but she's making out like he's this big liar, can't be trusted. And then we get the 24 hours earlier. And this was one of the weirdest other sides of the story to me, because in a twist, and I might have this wrong, again, didn't see the other ones, Michael seems like the nicest guy. They show that it costs him $400 a month just to be able to talk to her, and he's explaining if he can't reach her, then she gets so mad there's a huge argument, and he doesn't want to argue, but she always wants to argue. He says things aren't good with Angela and my friends, so because they're not good, we don't hang out together so much anymore. It's just so many crazy things. It's just, if that's all true, then it's the most insane controlling behavior. So they're asking him, hey, what have you been doing? We haven't seen you. Have you been working? And he says, no, he's not working because Angela wants to know where he is all the time. So he stays home and doesn't go out. And they're like, well, what are you doing for money? She sends it to him. So the friends are explaining, and where they are, the men are in charge of the relationship. It's their culture in Nigeria. He's trying to move over to America, so he's saving up. And it's so weird. He's saying Angela is controlling and he misses working and going out, but he has to do what she says. So that's what I don't understand. It's just two such extreme differences. She acts like he's the one with the problem and he's lying, but it seems like he's the battered spouse. He's like, nobody should have to live with that. That's crazy. So then we're back with Tim and Jennifer. They're back at his place after dinner. First day in Colombia, went and had dinner. Just everything. She can't stand that whole ex thing. They keep arguing. They've only been together a couple hours and they can't stop fighting. But he convinces her, he's like, listen, why don't you just stay and hang out? No pressure. She's like saying, well, Violet's waiting and it's late. He says, well, I bought you PJs. Do you want to stay and be cozy? She's saying there's sex in the air and it would be great to discover ourselves in that phase too. He, on the other hand, is saying he wants to make a move and he's afraid he doesn't want to push things. So I get it. He was trying to be a gentleman. That's nice, but that is so not her personality. She makes so many references to she wants a man that will just seize the moment and go for it, and he's scared. So she's not so into it. She basically says over and over she's not sure that he's her type. She's not sure about all this. Feels weird. And so they climb in bed and you think something's going to happen, but no, he ends up doing an eye mask and he puts an eye mask on her as well. So it's so weird. So she says, it's very strange to me. He doesn't try anything. He's taking himself to the friend zone. She's saying this is like something I would do with my girlfriends, not, a guy I'm interested in. So it's such an awkward vibe. Then we go back over to Omar and Avery. They're in Lebanon. So since they set a time and date and place to get married, they go to celebrate. It's their very first dinner alone. Mom's back at the hotel. So she says she's excited to be spending time without Mom there. She wants to talk to him about the move to Syria. She's asking about things like makeup. Can I get makeup? She has the strangest priorities. That's what she's worried about. She's talking about how the visa, how it's going, and asks if he still wants her to move there. And he says, well, I hope so. But he is warning her over and over, things are different in Syria. No power, no water. She says, well, that's not all the time. And he says, yes, it's all the time. We don't have any power or water. She is just completely clueless and thinks that, it's just all going to work out. It's totally fine. She'll just move to Syria. And, oh my gosh. So he's telling her how hard it's going to be, and she's saying she doesn't want to wait years to see him. She says, I know there's a war in Syria. It's scary, but he's making do, so can I. So Avery says she'll come to live in Syria in July, and she's saying that they'll tell her mom after they get married, and that Mom's going to absolutely freak out. I wonder why. So then we go over to Ben and Akini. Now, remember, Ben's from Phoenix. Akini lives in Kenya. He's only been in Kenya and just for a little bit. I mean, he just got there. He had rented a house, but instead she sprung it on him. Oh, yeah, no, you're going to stay with my brother instead so that he can keep an eye on him. So the brothers and sisters are there to meet Ben, and the brother is the only one she's worried about him impressing. Ben is just completely overwhelmed, and brother says he has a lot of questions. Akini's saying that her brother is very hard to please and she doesn't know how it will go. She ends up surprising Ben with this bracelet she got him. It's a nice gesture, and then she literally says, where's my gift? And he says, well, I ran out of time before getting on the plane. So that starts off things on a completely wrong foot. The brother's not impressed. Akini's not impressed. Oh my gosh. The brother then asks, what are your intentions with Akini? And, asks about the whole wife thing. And he says, you have to convince me your intentions are pure. And Ben is saying to the camera, I don't know if I have enough money to pay this bride price. And also now I have to convince her brother to be on my side. And Fidel keeps saying, if you want to marry my sister, you need me. So it's just so much pressure on Ben. He's freaking out, and I understand why. This is a lot to lay on somebody the first day when they arrive. So back to Darcy and Tom. Oh my gosh. It's just always something. So she's only a few days into the trip, right? They go for dinner. Again, these two just seem to totally be on opposite pages. She's saying things like, I'm falling in love with him. And he's saying something's off. She's upset because they haven't had sex yet. And so she thinks something is off as well. She tells him things at dinner. She just says these statements like, I'm in awe of you all of the time. And he says to camera, she overblows her feelings a lot of the time. He says that when she pushes things that much, it just makes him feel uncomfortable. So we cut between him saying that and her saying just these over-the-top things like, you're making me feel like a princess. And it's just lines out of a romance movie. It's so strange. And he's saying, Darcy is putting me on a pedestal. This is our first week together. So he's like, slow down. And she's like, let's get married. It's so fun to watch. Oh my gosh. So Darcy's saying she feels like met her great match, and he's the guy that she's always dreamt of. How do you feel? And he's like, so now you're asking me how I feel on top of everything else? Isn't everything I've been doing, doesn't that show you how I feel? Why do you need to ask me this question? So he's just totally uncomfortable. And he changes tact by telling her she's beautiful. She absolutely eats it up. He says, "You're rocking the designer labels." And she says, "So do you." It's just, they're both very vain people, and it's I don't know, it's comic relief to me. He makes a joke about his PJs, and she says, "They've stayed on." It's just every time she can make a joke about or make a comment about proposals, marriage, or sex. That's all she can talk about. So, oh gosh, it's just so much. So then we're back with Zied and Rebecca. Rebecca asks him to sit down because, yeah, she's only been in Tunisia a few days, but they're not speaking. All because of that happened last night, where he didn't want her to go out in that shirt. She went out anyway in it. Some guy was staring at her, and he almost got in a fight. So they're not really talking to each other. And she's saying tonight she has to meet his parents, and she doesn't want to do that while they're fighting. Before she came here, she was hoping that she would get engaged. Now she's not sure. That's what she says, but she would totally do it. It's so crazy. She's bringing up last night and saying he was so angry. And he's saying to camera, "Today I'm doubting my relationship with Rebecca." He's explained that in your country, the women clothes can be sexy. Here, women are Arabic, and that's not good. They don't do that. She said she respects that in his country, she respects that they're in his country. That's what she says. But she needs him to control his anger. So he ends up getting her this traditional Tunisian outfit to wear to meet his parents, thus avoiding a fight about what to wear. So she has to wear this to dinner. I understand it's their traditional outfit, but hello. Oh my gosh. So she has to cover everything up. And she still has on regular clothes underneath as well. But he's nervous because he's saying, well, first of all, he says, "You look so beautiful. I want you like this every day." Red flag, red flag. He's saying that he's worried about meeting the parents. They've never met an American, and she's very close to his parents' age. He's never brought a woman home before. And he then starts talking to her about the things she cannot tell his parents. She can't tell them that they've shared a room. He does not want them to know about the tattoos, because that's a huge no-no for them. They can't be drinking or talking about drinking, everything like that. She's scared if it doesn't go well, it's just not going to work out between them. And I'd say it's probably not going to work out between you guys, and not just because it won't go well. Then we're back with Angela. Oh gosh, she just landed in Nigeria. She wants to make sure that things are going to work out. And, she's just not sure she can trust him. But she just gets off the plane and just like this, just talking to everybody and over the top. I don't get Angela at all. He is like super excited and keeps talking about how much he's missing her. He genuinely seems to love her. He's celebrating and excited and pumping his fist and dancing around. That's why all these pictures are blurry. So she's primping in the bathroom, reminds me of Darcy. And they seem excited to see each other. She says she hasn't seen her baby in a year. Oh my gosh. So she goes to find him, and this is her face when she goes to find him, and they meet up and they hug and they kiss, and they both seem genuinely happy to see each other. She, right in front of everybody, starts slapping his butt and saying, "You're getting fat." Oh my god. Oh my gosh. He says he's so happy and that he misses her so much. And she, Oh my gosh, she's saying, I can't believe I'm back in Nigeria one more time. If he screws up, that's it. That's a lot of pressure. I'm sure he won't screw up, right? She says, so she has some birthday surprises for him. And she says, right now it's bliss. I'm just so happy. And oh my goodness. And then they leave off with this. So she asks him to pull off. It appears to be maybe to smoke, but then it may be due to like a production van following them or something, or waiting on somebody. There's this van in front of them. So they pull off, right? And they're waiting. And all of a sudden, we see these people pull up, and it appears to be tow trucks. And it's not clear what's going on. But all of a sudden, you start hearing, hey, hey, hey. And he's getting out super aggressive and pissed. And then she goes off running. And that is how the episode ends. So you don't know what is happening. They're literally like probably still on airport property at this point. It's so crazy and dangerous and scary, and you just don't know what's happening. They're talking about iron spikes, and it's a big group of guys, and who knows what's going on. So we will find out next episode. So you guys, that was it for the episode. I am so enjoying watching these and recapping them and talking about them. I just can't believe what I'm watching. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Leave me your comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Who are your favorite couples? Who are your least favorite couples? Whose side are we on with Angela and Michael? I think I'm on Michael's side, but I don't know what all he's done. It's very weird. But anyway, curious to know your thoughts. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate everything. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Leave me comments below or find me on Twitter @RealRecaps. And I just appreciate everything. Take care. Bye-bye.